All right, so one of you reached out about Phuket, and, well, turns out there's a lot happening over there.
Oh,
We
yeah.
could be looking at, like, a serious property boom,
Mm.
and, well, we're going to dig into all that today.
Okay, sounds good.
So we've got this report here from Ocean Worldwide Phuket Real Estate,
Okay.
and they point out some pretty big moves from a major Thai developer, Sansiri.
Uh-huh.
They're putting a ton of money into Phuket.
Yeah.
So we're going to try to figure out what's behind all that.
All right, so from what I've seen, the scale of this investment is what's really interesting.
Okay. Yeah.
We're talking over 10 billion baht
Oh.
for new residential projects in Phuket.
Hmm.
So that's significant. It's
Yeah.
not just like a little side project for them.
Right.
And Sansiri is a major player in Thailand.
Yeah, definitely.
So when they make a move like this, people pay attention.
That's a big statement.
Yeah.
It sounds like they're really going all in on Phuket,
Mhm.
and they're not just trying to like hold steady or anything. They want to really increase their revenue from Phuket.
Yeah, they're aiming to boost their Phuket revenue from just 6%
Wow.
to a whopping 16% next year.
Hmm.
So we're talking about a very aggressive growth target.
Yeah, that definitely suggests they're seeing something big in the Phuket market.
Absolutely.
So let's dive into who's driving all this demand.
Sure.
The report mentions a mix of affluent local buyers,
Yeah.
but also international buyers,
Uh-huh.
especially Russians and Chinese investors.
Interesting.
And that's kind of surprising to me.
Why is that?
Well, because the Thai baht is really strong right now.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't that make it pricier for those foreign investors?
It definitely has an impact.
Yeah.
The strong baht does create a bit of a headwind for foreign buyers.
Right.
Their currency just doesn't go as far anymore.
I see.
To put it in perspective,
Okay.
the baht has gone up about 10% against the US dollar over the last year.
Wow.
So a property that would have cost $100,000 a year ago would now cost around $110,000.
So that's a pretty noticeable difference.
For sure.
It's like a built-in price increase.
You could say that.
But even with that, the report says demand is still strong,
Yeah,
especially from those Russian buyers.
that's right.
It seems like they're not too worried about the exchange rate.
Well, I think it points to a couple of things.
Okay, what are those?
First, Phuket's luxury market has always been pretty resilient, even when the currency fluctuates.
Okay.
There's just a strong underlying demand there,
I see.
especially from high net worth individuals.
Yeah.
They're not as sensitive to those currency swings.
So they're more interested in the long-term value
Right.
and maybe the lifestyle that Phuket has to offer.
Exactly.
And what's the second thing?
Well, there are geopolitical factors influencing the Russian market.
Okay.
Recent events have made some Russians look to diversify their assets. They're seeking out more stable environments.
So they see Phuket as a safe haven then,
I think so.
both in terms of like safety and their finances.
Yeah, you could put it that way.
And it seems like Sansiri has picked up on this trend.
They definitely have.
They recently launched this project called the Standard Residences Phuket Bang Tao. And get this, it's already 70% sold out.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, primarily to Thai buyers, but also a lot of Russian buyers.
That's interesting.
70% sold out, especially with the strong baht.
Right.
That's a clear sign of confidence from those buyers.
Absolutely.
It seems like Sansiri's bet is paying off.
It certainly looks that way.
And this project actually fits into a bigger strategy for them.
Oh, how so?
Well, they're laser focused on tourist destinations, and not just in Phuket, but all across Thailand.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, Thailand is a huge tourist destination.
Definitely.
And now that the pandemic is over, those numbers are bouncing back strong.
For sure.
In fact, the report says Thailand expects nearly 40 million tourists next year.
Wow.
So what Sansiri's doing is really smart.
How so?
They're positioning themselves to get a piece of that huge tourism market. They understand that a lot of tourists end up becoming investors.
Yeah.
Someone who enjoys vacationing in Phuket might decide to buy a property there later on.
That's a good point.
So they're not just building residences.
Right.
They're building a long-term customer base.
Yeah, they're creating a pipeline of potential buyers.
Exactly.
And they're serious about this commitment to Phuket.
Oh, yeah?
They've even gone as far as setting up a whole new head office in Phuket.
Wait, really?
Yep.
They've never had a head office outside of Bangkok before, right?
This is a first for them.
Wow.
Yeah, it really underscores their belief in Phuket's potential.
They're not just dipping their toes in the water anymore.
Not at all.
They're putting down roots.
Exactly.
That's definitely a signal to the market. When a company like Sansiri does something like this,
Yeah,
people take notice.
for sure.
It makes you wonder what they see that maybe others are missing.
Well, there are a few key factors at play.
Yeah, it seems like they've really got something special here. Targeting a booming tourism market,
Right.
focusing on those affluent buyers, and
Exactly.
picking a prime location like Phuket.
It's a good combination.
But even in paradise,
Yeah,
there are always challenges.
that's true.
We talked about the strong bot and how that affects foreign buyers. Are there other things investors should be thinking about?
One thing to consider is oversupply.
Oversupply.
Yeah, imagine a situation where there are way more properties available than there are buyers.
Oh, I see.
That could push prices down and make it harder to get any rental income.
Right. It's that classic supply and demand thing.
Exactly.
So even with all this excitement about Phuket,
Yeah.
there's a risk that the market could get too crowded.
That's a risk in any fast-growing market.
Right.
And Phuket has seen a lot of construction lately,
Uh-huh.
so the demand is strong now.
Yeah.
But it's important to keep an eye on how quickly things are developing and think about whether that pace is sustainable over the long term.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. It's like that saying,
What is it?
too much of a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. So how can investors avoid getting caught up in the hype and make sure they're making smart decisions?
Due diligence is key.
Due diligence. So
Don't just jump in because everyone else is.
right.
You got to do your research. Research the developers.
Okay.
Look at their track record,
Yeah.
the specific location of the project,
Right.
the type of property you're interested in.
So it's about going beyond those fancy brochures
Exactly.
and really digging deep.
Yes.
Understand the local market, rental yields in the area,
Mm-hmm.
all the potential risks.
All of that.
And it's also crucial to have a clear investment strategy.
Absolutely.
Are you in it for the long haul?
Right.
Just want a vacation home? Or are you looking to rent it out?
It all makes a difference.
Yeah, your strategy should guide you
Exactly.
to the right type of property and the right location. It's a good reminder that there's no one-size-fits-all approach to real estate,
Definitely not.
and no investment is completely risk-free.
Right. Even in a market like Phuket,
Yeah,
there are things you can't control.
like what?
Global economic conditions,
Oh,
political stability, natural disasters.
Those are all real possibilities.
They are, and you can't forget about them.
So it's about managing that risk
Exactly.
and making smart decisions
Right.
based on the best information you have. Okay, so we've talked about the challenges,
We have.
but let's get back to the good stuff.
Sure.
What are the advantages of investing in Phuket?
Well, besides the obvious stuff,
Okay, like what?
beautiful beaches, stunning scenery,
Right.
tropical lifestyle,
Yeah.
Phuket also offers a relatively affordable cost of living
Oh, interesting.
compared to other popular tourist destinations.
So you get that paradise lifestyle,
Yeah,
but without breaking the bank.
that's a big part of the appeal.
Makes sense. And from an investment perspective,
Mm-hmm.
Phuket has a good track record
It does.
when it comes to property appreciation.
That's right.
Historically, properties in Phuket have done well,
Mm.
better than a lot of other markets in the region.
Uh-huh.
So you've got potential for capital growth,
Yeah.
and you can make money from rental income too.
Exactly.
And it's worth mentioning that Phuket is really easy to get to.
It is.
They have a good airport, well-maintained roads,
Right.
the economy's doing well.
All good signs.
That makes it attractive for tourists and investors.
For sure.
It's easy to get there, easy to get around.
Right.
And there's a sense that things are moving in the right direction. Plus, the Thai government has been making things easier for foreign investors.
They have.
Things like the Thailand Elite Residence Program.
Uh-huh.
That gives you a long-term visa and some other perks.
Yeah, if you invest a certain amount in the country,
So there are incentives to attract foreign investment.
there are.
That's another factor that makes Phuket so popular.
It's absolutely.
It's a winning combination, beautiful place,
Right.
affordable,
Yep.
solid growth potential, and government support.
It's hard to beat.
But like we said before,
Yeah.
you got to approach any investment with a balanced perspective.
Always.
Weigh the pros and cons.
Exactly.
Do your research.
Right.
And make decisions that align with your goals.
And your risk tolerance.
No investment is a sure thing.
It's true.
But Phuket seems to have a lot going for it right now.
It does.
Sansiri's investment is a strong signal.
It is.
It shows they believe in Phuket's future. And they're not just talking.
Right.
They're putting their money where their mouth is.
They're backing their beliefs with action.
Yeah, exactly.
Their actions suggest a bright future for Phuket.
But of course,
Yeah.
we always tell our listeners,
Always.
do your own research and make informed decisions.
That's the most important thing.
This deep dive is just meant to give you a starting point. some information and insights
Right.
to help you start your own exploration.
That's what we're here for.
What stood out to you from all this? What are you curious about?
Well, one thing that's really fascinating to me
Yeah?
is how Sansiri is connecting tourism and real estate.
Oh, yeah.
They're not just building houses.
Right.
They're creating experiences.
I see.
And that seems to be resonating with people from all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like they understand that people are looking for more than just stuff these days.
Yeah.
They want experience.
Right, exactly.
And Phuket has a lot to offer on that front.
It does.
It's that whole package, luxury adventure culture.
Yeah, it all comes together.
And Sansiri's putting themselves right in the middle of it all.
Yeah, they're smart.
They're not just selling you a place to live.
Right.
They're selling you a lifestyle.
That's a powerful message.
It is.
So it seems like there's a lot of optimism around Phuket right now.
Definitely.
Sansiri's going all in. Demand from those affluent buyers is still strong.
Uh-huh.
And Thailand's tourism industry is bouncing back.
Yeah, that's looking good.
But like we said,
Yeah,
there are some things to watch out for.
there are.
That strong bat,
Right.
the possibility of oversupply.
Exactly.
And you always have to do your due diligence.
Always.
So even in a place like Phuket,
Mm-hmm.
investors need to be careful.
That's true.
Don't just get caught up in the hype.
Right.
You have to understand what's really going on
Yeah.
and make good decisions.
Exactly. So this deep dive has given you the knowledge,
Yeah.
but now the decision is yours?
Right.
Is Phuket the right move for you?
This is something to think about.
We've given you the tools.
Yeah.
Now it's up to you to decide what to do with them.
Maybe test the waters a little bit first.
That's always a good idea.
The best investments are the ones that make sense for you,
Absolutely.
for your situation, your risk tolerance,
Uh-huh.
and your goals.
Yeah, that's what matters.
And remember, this is just the beginning.
It is.
Keep learning.
Keep exploring.
Start asking questions.
Exactly.
That's what it's all about.
That's what the deep dive is all about.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the Phuket property market.
It was my pleasure.
Until next time, happy investing.